All right. Good evening, everybody. I am James Tenaglia, the Vice Chair. We're going to go ahead and get the August 1st rec meeting underway. We do not have a quorum, so we're not going to be able to vote on anything, but we are going to move forward with our award ceremony. I do have a notice of recording. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast on Channel 18 in accordance with MCL Chapter 30A20. You must inquire whether anyone is taping this meeting and please make their presence known.
Sandra Merritt taping the meeting for purposes of taking the minutes.
Perfect. Thank you, Sandra. Since we can't vote on anything, we are going to move right into our new business with our Employee of the Year awards. And John, I will turn it over to you to present the awards.
Can you give me my list? Good evening. Welcome. As we always talk about every year, and it was nice to do this in person this year, it's always nice to have and to celebrate our Employees of the Year. The first one is the Lifeguard of the Year. And her name is Catherine Goodall. She's here tonight with her family. Catherine is a WSI at Dallas Beach, which is one of our 2 locations of this summer that we have swim lessons, and she was there last year. And she provided high quality swim instruction. So when the kids take the class, you know, they love all the instructors there because they're all quality, but Catherine is a step above. She is, or was last year, the behind-the-scenes leader. You know, she really took charge of the beach and made sure that things operated very smoothly. She is a great role model. So she is the ideal lifeguard that you want all the other lifeguards, the lifeguard aides, just the younger staff to look up to. Catherine is that person. We really, she really does a good job to set a good example, not only by verbalizing what needs to be done at the beach, but also acting and performing her job. She does an excellent job. If anything needs to be done, we can always count on her. And with all her dedication and hard work last summer, she became head lifeguard and head swim instructor this year at Dallas Beach. So we would like to congratulate Catherine, or as better known as Kat, as Lifeguard of the Year. So we'd like Kat to come up and get her award. We do need it signed by Renee, so we'll probably take the picture and get it signed later. George, if you could maybe take the photo. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So just come in the middle. And
yep.
And then at the end of this too, we'll take a group photo with everybody and families included at the end. The next one is the Gate Attendant of the Year, and proud to have Mary Toll here. She is an excellent gate attendant for us. She started a couple summers ago, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it happens that Mary likes to take walks and would run into our staff and talk to our staff about what it is to be a gate attendant. And then the next summer, she joined us. And from my point of view, it's been one of the best things that could have happened to us. She works at a variety of locations, but best known as holding it down at Dallas Beach on a Sunday morning, afternoon, when we routinely fill up every weekend. As you guys know, every year, Dallas Beach can be very tough to manage. There's a lot of people that love to go to Dallas, and they get there nice and early, and they line up waiting to get in there. And the person they get to greet at the gate is Mary, and it's always a good thing for them to talk to after maybe being in a line for a half hour or more sometimes. She excels at a customer service. She always smiles, greets someone with a hello, helps them out, does whatever she can to make the beach, the town, the recreation division look really good. She also, this past winter, came to our office and helped us sell parking permits. So went above and beyond kind of just doing our normal summer type of hours and came and helped us sell parking permits. So again, it's with that walk along the beaches and stopping by and I think meeting Victoria Richardson, became a gate attendant a couple of years later, gate attendant of the year. So we congratulate Mary on her award this year. So we'll bring her up. So you can tell the respect that Mary has because there's some fellow gate attendants out there in the crowd tonight. The next one is the Beach Aide of the Year. And the Beach Aide of the Year for 2021 is Jonah Izzo. That last name might ring a bell. Jonah, and a theme at the beaches, Jonah worked also at Dallas Beach, so 3 for 3 with aquatics last year with Employees of the Year. Jonah is quiet by nature, but over time really started to let his guard down and really started to gel with the staff there. Again, being a new employee in a new situation, after a couple weeks really started to ingratiate himself into the aquatics team there. So a beach aide routinely assists the beach operations. They help out the beach supervisors, so they walk around, they pick up trash, they empty trash cans, they sweep the boardwalk, they can help out at the gate. They do anything to kind of make sure the overall beach is performing at its highest level. If the lifeguard needs something, they'll bring it out to them. You know, if a patron needs help with something, you know, and a beach aide is available, they go out and help. So Jonah would do all of those sort of things. Whenever you asked Jonah to do something, he would jump up and do it without hesitation, and he always did it with a smile. Last year was his first year, and it was a great addition to our staff. And Dallas really enjoyed having him as the Beach Aide last year. So I'd like to bring up Jonah for the 2021 Beach Aide of the Year. Okay, next we have Mickey.
Hey, everybody. It is a great honor to be here tonight to announce that Hannah Cuco is our Leisure Program Counselor for the year of 2021. Yes. I have known Hannah for 7 years. She has worn many different hats for me, and I have always thought of her very highly as a coworker and as a friend. So Hannah has shown the Leisure Program team how indispensable she really is. For the last 2 years, she has been an essential staff person to help us with our preseason work. And I am talking about the crucial task of getting together all of our Leisure Program documentation, organizing it, alphabetizing it, and tracking it. And we are talking 2,500 forms. So this is a tedious task that is essential to the running of the Leisure Program. Hannah is that person that no matter how big, how small, how absurd, how tedious, how demanding my requests are, She is that woman that always says, of course, with a smile. She says it in a text, of course, all the time. She is somebody that I can depend on. She is somebody who truly, truly is what we need more of. And I'm just so appreciative of the work that she does. She's a great leader. And this year, she has taken over the director of our BIS site, which is no easy task as she fills the shoes of 20-year veteran, Joe Bentley. And she is doing an incredible job there. I am so grateful for Hannah in more ways than I have time to say tonight, and I think she knows that. I tell her every day. So what I'm going to say is this. When I first met Hannah, I butchered her last name. It is Cuco. For whatever the reason, I could not say it right. I would be like, Kwaku, Kyako, Hannah Kuka. So finally, near the end, I just started to call her Cuckoo. And so, there was always this yell whenever I needed to, Cuckoo, Cuckoo. So I remember she often would get to be nominated for Leisure Program Counselor of the Week and of the Year. And when I would announce her, I would say, Hannah Cuckoo, by accident, and everybody would look at me. So when I said to her tonight at this ceremony, Hannah, I swear I am going to pronounce your name correctly. I am going to say Hannah Cuco. And she looked at me and she said, don't you dare. And so I will end this by saying, congratulations, Cuckoo.
Good evening and thank you. This year's Employee of the Year award for the Hyannis Youth and Community Center is going to be given to Matt Mcmorrow. Matt came on board last year. It was our first year back with our SOAR program in person, kind of coming out of COVID, and he brought a sense of energy that we hadn't seen in a while. If anybody here knows Matt's kind of been a local kid, always kind of coming to the HYCC or the rec all the time since he was a young kid, played in a couple sport leagues, basketball leagues out of the rec. Just a real good kid. Everybody always liked him, really appreciated what he had. We kind of saw that in him, asked him if he wanted a position with us in the after-school program, to which he was all over. And like I said, he really brought a sense of energy. And I think in this past year, with all that has gone on, he kind of became a steadfast for a lot of kids there. Matt did take a little bit of a break for basketball, which is his passion. And upon that, it seemed like all the kids were every day, where's Matt, where's Matt? Like they couldn't comprehend that this would happen, right? And then after basketball season, he came back and it was just a kind of a staleness with the kids after winter, and they're all kind of like gung-ho, a little crazy. And he came back and just, it was kind of like a pause. All the kids kind of re-gravitated towards him, the other counselors. And just like I said, I don't know, he's a rec kid and really embodies everything where we kind of strive to be about at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. Since then, he's kind of taken on some other roles, being a gym super, has really picked up and filled a void that we really need there. And I hope it continues, and I hope he breeds a little back and gave back to these kids in a way that I think others before him gave to him. And I think he really understands what he brings to the table, and I think the kids really felt that. So with that said, Matt, Employee of the Year for the Hyannis Youth and Community Center.
So I will try and keep this as short as possible. It was 2 pages. I cut it down. You're welcome, Kayla. So I have had the pleasure of supervising Kayla Shea over the past year and have great admiration and respect for her. In her short time with Barnstable Recreation, Kayla has shown to be very dependable and ready to take on any situation presented to her. Kayla has proven to be a strong leader and a wonderful role model to her peers and the youth in the town of Barnstable, while rising to any challenge she has been presented with. As a recreation assistant, Kayla has stepped into varying roles as coach for our field hockey, lacrosse, basketball, volleyball, and soccer program, along with many others. She's a very hard worker and always goes above and beyond. Kayla is responsible, she's organized, and when we were in dire need, she was the one I could count on. Kayla brought new games, strategies, and a fun atmosphere to all the sports she coached throughout the year. Kayla is reliable and able to carry out activities with little to no direction. Kayla also has a wonderful rapport with children and parents alike. Kayla is an exceptional individual who takes pride in her job. She is bright, she's eager, and she's excited to learn. She is a natural leader, and upon meeting Kayla, you can recognize her leadership skills and the way she encourages our youth. Kayla is talented, young, professional, and I wish her all the best in life. I'm glad to have been a grateful recipient of her energetic energy, her spirit, her talent, and her drive to succeed. There is no doubt in my mind that Kayla will go far in all her future endeavors. Congratulations, Kayla, on being the 2021 Recreation Assistant of the Year.
I think what we could do now is bring everyone up. So Kayla, Jonah, Mary, Hannah, Matthew, and Catherine, to come up and take a big group photo with the whole rec commission here tonight. And then George, Kelly, Nikki, everyone come up as well. And Mark. Start, and you want to?
Before you guys take off, I'll intro it up. We are going to have one more award, but we just want to, the Rec Commission wants to thank all of you employees. You guys are really what makes the town go round. We sit up here and try to help make good decisions and try to set good guidelines, but without you guys, the employees, the town doesn't operate. The best beaches on the Cape don't operate. The best youth programs don't operate. And that's something we don't take lightly. And that's why we like to do this award ceremony, because without you guys, none of this gets done. So I know us, the rest of the town, everybody in the town is so appreciative of what you guys do and work so hard for on a daily basis. So we just would like to thank you and congratulate you.
All right, last but not least, and I know we had plenty of time to thank him at our last meeting that we held on Zoom, but we knew he would be here tonight, so we want to personally thank the chairman and vice chair in the past, Joseph O'Brien, who's been on the Recreation Commission for 40 years plus. So I know when I think I first started as interim in January, February, I know we honored Kathy Pina, and before he gets away from being too busy from us, I wanted to make sure that, knowing that he would be here tonight, that we give Joseph O'Brien an appreciation for service award tonight. So, I'll just quickly talk about Joe. Just in my 19 years of experience, his daughter Annie worked for me a long time ago in basketball, and I've known Joe throughout those times, talking to him about various rec opportunities. And then when I became the interim recreation director and now the recreation director, he'd always call me, talk to me about different things. In particular, we have a big thing going on with Little League, trying to sign a new agreement with them. So just trying to make sure that we always have our T's crossed and our I's dotted. So I just really appreciated, those phone calls and just talking about different things. And I'll definitely miss that to some degree, but I know he still has my number and will definitely call me whenever he needs to. And I know at the last meeting you guys spoke a lot of great things about Joe. I just wanted to save tonight, for my comments. So I just really appreciate him being here tonight. It shows his level of dedication to the town and to the recreation division by, being here to support all these kids here tonight. So for me, it just really appreciate Joe's knowledge and experience that he kind of gave to me over the past 19 years here and there. So again, we have a little plaque for Joseph O'Brien tonight. If you guys want to say anything else, that'd be great. And then we also would love to take a photo of him for tonight and give him his old name plaque so he can take home with him and put him somewhere in his house.
Absolutely. Same thing. I want to thank Joe. 40 plus years. That's longer than I've been alive. You can think of, how many kids you've impacted. I played many, many rec leagues. You served on this board with my dad. The amount of youth and people you've served over the years is tremendous, and we thank you for that.
And I just wanted to say a few words about what it is to serve. And the whole Recreation Commission and the other organizations within our town goes through a great deal of effort to make sure that we know what it takes to run a town management. So there is a leadership class, and that leadership class really allows anyone from the town of Barnstable to get a glimpse of all the various organizations within our town, of which the recreation is one. And at the end of the kind of overview of all the different organizations, there's a call to action. And that call to action is, which of these organizations do you have a passion for? And you are encouraged to participate in some small or large way. So when it comes to Joe, it's a very large way. When you look at 40 plus years of commitment to the recreation and to our town, that is priceless. So my call to action is, first, let me thank you from the bottom of my heart, but my call to action is for the youth in the room. Quite impressed with your leadership, quite impressed with those that came to support you. But the call for action is that your job is not done. If you look here, you see elders, but we need the youth. We need the youth to be active. We need your voices to be heard. And we want to make sure you have an open invitation to join the Recreation Commission or any other organization here to support our town, because it truly takes a village. But at this point, I'd like to bring Joe up. A fine example of service. Come on, gentlemen.
I will take that.
Let's say a few.
I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, I had no idea that this was going to happen, so certainly have not prepared anything or whatever, but the real reason why I'm here tonight is because over the years, this has probably been the awards of the year from the past year have been really the most fun meeting. I think we can all agree with that. The best meeting we go to of the year. So after retiring, I did want to come here and just, congratulate all you people because the town of Barnstable, over the years, I've so privileged to work in this capacity on the Rec Commission because our recreation department, the town of Barnstable is the biggest town, obviously, on the Cape, but by far, the town of Barnstable Recreation Division has always been the best, probably if not best on the Cape, if not one of the best in the state. And that really it starts with leadership. I've been very privileged to work for every director, starting with Jack Hare, Dave Curley, Patty Machado, and now John. And I was saying to John, boy, you have really large shoes to fill with, coming after Patty. But you know what? I'm sure I've known you for, like you said, 19 years. And I had, when I was asked, by superiors if I thought, you would do a good job, I didn't hesitate. I said, you're the perfect person. I mean, if anybody's going to do, the job that Patty can do, if not better, you're the person for it. So, it's really been a privilege and an honor to come here, the first Monday of every month and, serve, give back to the town. That's one of the things that my dad did a lot of civic duties when he was, when he was alive, and he was former president of Barnstable Little League. He was always involved in hockey, and one of the things he taught me was to give back to the town. So, like I said, really privileged to have had the opportunity to do this. Done it with some really, really great people. Like Jim was saying, his father, what a great guy. And just really privileged, and I really appreciate everybody, doing this for me tonight. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Let's get a photo. Get a photo.
Oh, I suppose I should bring this up.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. You're welcome to stay. We're going to continue with the Recreation Commission, but we were so glad to have you here tonight with us for the awards. So, all righty. Did we act on the minutes? We do now, right?
Yeah, you do.
So now we can.
Ben's answering for the two of us.
So for the record, we'll add 2 additional recreation commissioners as,
Brendan Burke has arrived.
and Renee King is present. Okay. So. What's next?
You want to go back and vote on the minutes?
All righty, so it's time to vote on the prior meeting's minutes. We did not have a meeting in July, so it's the minutes for June. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
We have a motion, a second. Any objection, any more discussion? Okay. Those in favor of approving our June minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. That's sufficient. Okay, thank you. All righty, so the next thing on our agenda is the report from Mark on the Hyannis Youth and Community Center staff report. Mark?
Thank you, Renee. Good evening, Mark Boardley from the Hyannis Youth Community Center. A few things to go over. We've hired our new youth center manager, actually be the person replacing my position. His name's Stephen Headley. He's the Assistant Recreation Director for the town of Brewster right now. He's been there since 2019. He'll start on August 8th. He'll be overseeing the SOAR program, overseeing the gym, the use, the rentals of that facility, as well as beginning to introduce some new programs to run out of the HYCC. Some ice news. We've had a few summer camps that have just finished up. We have one last power skating school that the HYCC will be putting on. That'll be in the middle of August. We had some dry floor activities that we had this summer because we did not have Butler ice. We had Cape Cod Roller Derby, and they also introduced the Junior Roller Derby team that were skating a couple nights a week. We also introduced roller nights on Friday nights. We did throughout July. That went really well. About 30 participants each Friday. In the next few weeks on the ice, we'll be wrapping up some things for the summer and bringing our Butler rink back, getting ice back there, repainting that surface, and then switching things over, everything over to the Butler rink while we repaint the Kennedy surface. Also have some gym news. The junior Barnstable Redhawks basketball clinic was offered for the first time in quite some time at the HYCC with Coach Alik Taylor. We had 35 kids show up over the 4 days. That was really well. We'll be leaning on him next year to hopefully do that again and maybe introduce another week later in the summer. We've had 3 weeks of Nike basketball camps that have just wrapped up. Seen over 45 kids a day in the gym. We're getting some great use out of that. Our summer volleyball program, it's a high school league with 7 teams from Cape Tech all the way to Bourne. They play in 2 divisions, varsity and JV. That'll be wrapping up this week. That's in its final week, and then championships, well, playoffs and championships the following week. And we've also had a portable AC unit that is on site, kind of recirculating some air and getting things a little less humid in the gym, and that should be there for the next month or 6 weeks. And those are the big things going on right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? All righty, thanks again. And we're going to move right along to the recreation staff report from John.
Good evening, John Gleason, Recreation Director. Over the winter, we talked about lack of staff, but we've accomplished a lot of things over the past couple of months. So some really good news to share. We have promoted George Noonan, who's in in the chairs tonight as the new Assistant Recreation Director. He took my old position. So next meeting, we'll probably have George come to, give a little more presentation of, who he is, if you guys don't know him. We also hired Jackie Keeney, was hired as a new program coordinator. Jackie worked for us when she was in high school. She interned for us. She helped out when a program coordinator was out on maternity leave, so she did a lot of work for us. After college, she went on to work for Falmouth Recreation, and then we snagged her back when we had an opening, and she just started a couple months ago. And then currently, we have a position open to the public and to the town for the vacancy of George's old position. So we have another program coordinator position, so hopefully by the end of this month, we'll be back to almost full strength, which will be nice. I'll be very happy having full contingent of staff to rely on to help us out. Some updates. I know I talked about it last time. Hopefully you guys have taken the time to drive by, but the Osterville Bay field update, they've put down sod, they put up some posts for fencing. As soon as the grass grows a little bit more, they'll put up the fencing, and they have some few other things to do, but the grass needs to root for a couple months before there's any action out there, so we probably won't really see much this fall, but come next spring, summer, there'll be some groups out there.
Looks great down there.
Oh, it
Looks
looks
awesome.
looks
really,
incredible.
really good.
Yeah, it's really nice. Also, some updates on the Marston's Mills pickleball courts. We all know they were completed, but there were things that were back ordered for a long period of time that are now starting to come. So the DPW will be installing tables, benches, and windscreens over the next couple months to kind of wrap up some things over there that were delayed due to shipping and manufacturing issues. Aquatics related stuff, at this point we've issued over 21,000 beach parking permits for the summer. So we're right where we were the previous years. And again, can't say enough about our staff that has worked really hard day and night, 6 to sometimes 7 days a week to process those for people, whether they mailed it in or did it online. And we got those back to people as quickly as possible. So really proud of that with our staff. Over the winter, we were talking about the lack of lifeguards and training. And at one point, I thought we were going to be in the 40 to 50 range with lifeguards. We ended up with over 70 lifeguards. A lot of training last minute. A lot of last minute kids came down here. I want to be a lifeguard, and we would get them certified, or we would do everything we possibly could to get them out to our beaches. We trained them, we gave them an orientation, and got them out there. Along the way, like any other year, we've lost a couple, but we were definitely over 70. Right now, we're probably hovering high 60s, and then typical every summer, they start to go back to, if they go down south to college, they're leaving this week or next week. Lifeguards, have to leave the beach, or gate attendants. They go down to, minimal staffing at different places. They have to go off to college sports and high school sports, and but we'll try to get the information out to the public as quickly as possible to make sure they understand where we have lifeguards and where we don't. But if we don't have lifeguards, we'll have a gate attendant there as long as we can to open up the bathrooms and check parking permits. And then again, we also were able to kind of at the last minute hire a full contingent of staff to check the parking permits and to help pick up the trash at the beach. But again, it was literally till the last moment. There was like 2 days before we opened up, we were still interviewing and hiring. And even throughout the summer, we've definitely hired lifeguards as we've gone along. We've hired gate attendants as we've gone along. We've done everything we possibly could to make sure our beaches are operating. Quickly, just program-wise, we do a lot, so I just kind of quickly highlight some quick stuff because we haven't had a meeting in a while, but just the key highlights. We partnered up with Straight Up Pickleball to do pickleball lessons over at Marston's Mills. Every class that we have offered has pretty much filled up. So we are selling out and then some with a wait list for those classes. There's definitely a lot of people out there looking to play. Along with that, we have partnered with the USTA for tennis lessons. So we do it with kids, but we've gotten the adults back to be playing. So they're starting to learn how to play because most adults now are gravitating towards pickleball. It's easier on the body, smaller court, easier to play, but we are starting to get some more adults that want to play tennis. So we're able to teach them how to play. Just finished up, I think, a week and a half ago, but we did a fire academy with Hyannis Fire, and that went amazing. The Hyannis Fire Department took these kids in for the week and trained them and did all sorts of stuff to show them what it takes to be a firefighter. And it was a great new partnership that we could explore. And if you look on social media on Hyannis Fire, you can see a lot of great pictures from the week that the kids had there. Mickey, who was here tonight giving out awards, her leisure program is going really well at all the sites. Once or twice a week, they'll go to our beaches or they'll go on a field trip, and the kids are all having a great time. So when I see them at the beaches, you can all tell they're having a great time in the water. Their staff is very attentive to the kids, always paying attention to what they're doing, which is nice. So Mickey does a great job training them. And then last but not least, Mickey is also in charge of our Friday night social program, and that is back up and running. And we're really excited. COVID definitely put a hit to that program, and to get these adults back together with special needs, to get them to go to the movies and to do dances and mini golf and go to restaurants together and socialize back together as their core group was excellent. They were all doing their own little things in their own separate little clusters or communities they were involved in, but they weren't fully together. So now that we have this back up and running, it's getting them all back to the same place. And I know it holds a special place in Mickey's heart, and I know she's really excited that it's back up and running. So that's going well. So, that's kind of my quick little report of what's been going on the past month or so. And if you have any questions.
I do have a question. Can you say a few things about Unity Day? Because I think recreation was well represented. I wasn't able to
Sure,
be
I'll
there.
say a little bit, but I'll maybe give a little more to Mark because he was there all night. I had to go to a wedding festivity, but I've been a part of Unity Day for years, and it's really nice for the community service team is what we're a part of. I know the golf course was there teaching people how to putt. The senior center, the Barnstable Adult Community Center was there, and then Mark with the Hyannis Youth Community Center, and then George Noonan was there with games and activities as a nice little outlet for the kids and families to do some games over there. So it's just a really good part to be a part of it. We definitely have a nice community, always room to grow, but it's nice to see when people come together that anything is possible, and when you have open dialogue and people are willing to listen, and communicate back and forth, you can accomplish, what you want to. It just takes that communication back and forth so everyone understands where each other's coming from. But Mark was there, I think, the whole night, so I'll let him talk a little more about it.
Yeah, like John said, it was a great night. Tremendous fun had by George, and I kind of manned our booth for pretty much the whole time, and it was just a phenomenal time seeing people out and about. Like John was saying, I think a lot of times I know for me, when you're at the community center, you're kind of in the day, and people come, they talk to you, things kind of, sometimes the messages get lost just because you're kind of in the moment of work. Outside of there was just plenty of time to really talk with people in the community, kind of bounce ideas back and forth, and I think it'll kind of continue to spur through some of the programs and things we try to deliver, not only at the HYCC, but through the rec. And like John said, it's just a good time to connect with the community. So being there, seeing all the kids and all the faces and the adults, it's just a tremendous feeling for everybody.
Thank you.
I just want to say, as one of the part of the group that does the Unity Day with the town, having you guys there, John, Mark, George, you guys, I've known all you guys for a long time, but seeing familiar faces now kind of being at the forefront with a lot of the things we do in this town, such as you guys. We're talking about 3 tremendous individuals. It's great to see HYCC represented there, and I know with John at the helm right now, and you guys, the future's looking bright for the kids in our town. So just want to say congrats and thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I just had one on parking permits. Were we up from last year, or about the same, or?
About the same.
About the same.
I think Michelle at the office was about to issue 21,300-ish. But some of those are replacements. If you get a new car, we have to issue a new one. You pay $5 and get a new one. But we're definitely around where we were last year. And now we're in August, so I will look at reports to see kind of where we're at as far as attendance at our beaches, daily parking from last July to this July, and kind of look back to previous years as well. But we haven't had that many bad days. I know today wasn't that great, but even comparable, it's not that bad. We've just had hot, sunny, beautiful days. So the beaches are constantly busy. A couple days here and there that are overwhelmingly busy with just a lot of traffic, but nothing like constant. It's just nice, steady flow to the beaches every day, all day, 7 days a week, which is nice. And for the most part, knock on wood, we haven't dealt with any major incidents. Our lifeguards have attended a situation that happened at the Centerville Bridge. They ran all the way from Craigville to the bridge that the kids like to jump off of, even though the signs say do not jump. But you could go back to the paper and read a story about that if you want to look into it. But our lifeguards responded. By the time they got there, things were already handled. But it was nice to see them react and jump from their chair to go help someone else. But some kids from New York that we're visiting end up saving this kid's life from Barnstable. Because I think the kid didn't know how to swim, and these kids pulled the kid from the water and saved the kid's life. So it's just a great story. I'm pretty sure it's in the Boston Globe and some other papers and the Cape Cod Times. So certainly after, you guys can look that up. But yeah, it's been a great summer, so can't complain.
Any other questions? Thank you, John. So we'll move right along with the CPC liaison report from Jim.
Yep, so CPC, a lot of historic projects going on. The only recreation one that we're working on, we haven't passed it yet, but it's Armstrong Kelly Park in Osterville. They've recently changed hands to a new organization. Currently, there's no recreation restriction on it, so in theory, kind of anything could happen to that property, but we're working with them to give them some money. They're looking to redo the whole thing, which it looks like it's going to be a great project, but just working through the recreation restriction that's going to go on the property. And that's about it.
All righty. Thank you, Jim. Are there any matters not reasonably anticipated today? Would you like to come up, please? And please introduce yourself. Hold on, is the mic on?
William, you just have to, on the mic at the bottom of the base, there's a button. Push. Yes, there you go.
Yeah, my name's Willie O'Donnell. I'm from West Bay Road in Osterville. Went to, first off, not really you people, but your predecessors. I would like to thank you for all the work you did. I had many wonderful hours playing sports as a kid growing up in Osterville. We were champs in 1967 under Jim Peacock in rec basketball, and I had many wonderful hours because of your predecessors. What I'm here tonight is I live in West Bay Road, right across from the tennis courts. I was talking to John, and he realized he's tried to help me. What the problem is it's an extreme amount of noise from the pickleball courts. It's not every day. It's not all the time. It depends on what the weather's like, what the people like. It can be mildly annoying from having a mother and father playing with their kids to be excruciating to listen to competitive players playing. Now, those courts are 2.9 miles away from the wonderful pickleball center that you all created. And I've been there. I like playing pickleball. I won't play across the street because I don't want to be a hypocrite. But it's an extreme amount of noise, and it's just ruining my home. I don't want to sell my home. I think I may. But the point being is that the courts, you've changed when you put the pickleball courts in, which is a wonderful facility. You have 10 dedicated pickleball courts, and you have another 6. You have 2 multi-use tennis pickleball. Now, you can change those to pickleball only. I was trying to ask John to go back to the tennis only as it was when I was a child growing up, and up till about 2 years ago, it was just tennis only. Now, John was trying to help me. He said, okay, we're going to make it 9 to 5. And I was disappointed it didn't go tennis only, but I understood that, hey, he's trying. He can't get everything in life, but he's trying. Then he was subsequently overruled, and they said, no, it's going to be 9 to dusk. Now, dusk is very, it can be
Fluid.
anywhere from 10 minutes after sunset to an hour after sunset. I have people, not every night, I have people that played there, you know, at 8:45. I'll try not to go too long, I'm sorry, but I've had, last year we had people playing at 6:45 in the morning. I called Patty's office, and she said, well, next year they're going to have the pickleball center open, and I basically thought my problems are solved. The pickleball center will be the pickleball center, and then we'll go back to tennis only. That was an assumption on my part that, yeah, it's wrong. But what I'm trying to do is make it, tennis only again. We went from having 8 tennis courts to now you took out the 6 courts that were at the pickleball center, and now there's only 2 multi-use. It's a combination that. My request is to please make the West Bay courts tennis only. And in lieu of that, if you can't, to reduce the hours, much like Provincetown has, make it 9 to 4, something. But it's something that people, my wife says, don't let it bother you, don't let it bother you. And ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of like when something gets under your skin and you're sitting on a porch, it's like, hey, are we going to have a bunch of people playing today? Well, maybe not today. Are we going to have a bunch the next day? All of a sudden, now I've got the competitive guys playing, and it makes your house, it's like, what's going on here? I don't want to live under these circumstances. Thank you for your time. I graduated in '69. I went in the military. I went to Vietnam. I was never in danger in Vietnam. I served my country. But what I'm trying to get at is I realize you're trying to maximize people's enjoyment, and you're doing a good job. But I think that the wonderful facility that you built at the pickleball center, make that all pickleball, or you can change the 2 multi-use courts to 1 tennis, but make West Bay tennis only. I don't have a problem with people playing tennis at 6 in the morning. I don't have a problem with people playing tennis at 9 o'clock at night. Well, I don't want to see lights, but I don't mind them playing at 8 o'clock at night. Tennis is fine. You could also you could make a rule like, I don't know if you're familiar with spec tennis, but if you check out YouTube, spec tennis is much like pickleball, only it involves a low-pressure ball and a racket with holes in it. And if you could check that out, that's a solution that you could. But thanks for your time. I don't mean to draw this out.
But, that's what we're here for. So I don't want you to apologize. We have a situation, and I think that this is the forum to let us hear your perspective. I'm very sorry. We definitely do not want you selling your property. Let's take that back and see what we can do to address the problem.
Thanks,
so
Mrs. King.
It's open. That's what we do here.
It's 6 to 8 minute drive from the tennis courts to the pickleball center. It's 2.9 miles. I know, John, I know we are inconveniencing people to ask them to drive that 2.9 miles, but sometimes they're coming on Highway 28 from other, and it's like, in my neighborhood, we're not poor, but there's nobody rich there, and there's nobody influential in my neighborhood. But the point being is like, hey, I don't think it's a big inconvenience to ask somebody, rather than turning left off 28, go right down to the pickleball center where you have dedicated, nicer courts. These are pickleball courts. They're not multi-use. When I do play pickleball, I like to play on a pickleball-only court. It's just, it makes it miserable. It's hard to, I know I'm probably putting too much importance in it, but until you live it, you don't understand how annoying that can be. Whether it's, hey, I only had 1 person on Saturday, but now we had 6 or 7 hours a day later, and you just don't know what day's going to be. Hey, I gotta get out of here. I can't stay in this area. But thanks. I'm sorry about taking so much time.
But thank you for sharing with us, and John, we can take that input because it's important. Sometimes things have to be addressed. Are there any other matters that? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name's Joe O'Brien. I'm from Centerville. I do have a question, if I may, through you. Mark, at the HYCC, I didn't hear anything in your report as far as, were there any hockey things going on at the HYCC this summer? Any hockey camps? That's what I was getting at.
We have a power skating hockey camp that we're trying to get off the ground this year. Steven Doherty's working right now with Jen Perry from New Jersey. She's kind of a new on our scene, excuse me, and they'll be trying that out. Excuse me again. We also did a lot of new stick practice times on the weekend for youth.
Yep.
I would say those two things are kind of the new additions to what we were trying to get out this summer.
Yep. And Kennedy, if I'm not mistaken, it was, the ice was there all summer, right?
We did have ice,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. So, personally, I know that, in the past, there's been a lot of other, matter of fact, NHL players that summer here on the Cape. And I know of one former Cape guy who played, a little bit in the NHL or whatever. And so I've kind of talked to him a little bit about the possibility of, maybe getting some of these guys together and doing some camps and stuff like that to maximize, the rink. And getting maybe, Barnstable Youth Hockey and maybe some of the other, give the kids the opportunity to skate in the summer, even, maybe skate for an hour or two in the morning, then go to the beach. So anything I could do that, maybe we could promote that a little bit better for even for next summer.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Any help is welcome.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking that idle ice, not getting, we're not getting maximum out of it, and maybe we can make some money and provide a service to the kids.
No, definitely.
So that's maybe something that, I can get together with you or John or whatever and see what we can do.
Yeah, I'd love to sit down and chat with you anytime.
Okay, great,
All right,
great.
thanks.
Okay, that's one thing, and then the other thing that it did kind of resonate in my thoughts, Renee, when you were talking about the fact that, and this is not really to talk about myself, this talked about serving, and you talked about service to the community in town of Barnstable and things like that. And I really, one of my biggest things in getting, when I was thinking about possibly stepping down or whatever, and maybe this was the time and things like that, I do want to make sure that the Recreation Commission continues to do the good work that, not myself, but everybody else that's been involved or whatever over the years. So, as you said, the youth that was here tonight or whatever, and really want to reach out to maybe anybody that's watching, on Channel 18. I don't know whether this is being recorded or it's live or whatever, but anybody that may be watching, really reach out, because it really is rewarding, the things that you do to help the community, and, knowing that you are working and providing a service to the best recreation division, at least on Cape Cod, if not in the whole state of Massachusetts. So really wanted to just kind of say that is really step up. We want to see, I know you have an opening because I stepped down, so, and I had worked with Cynthia Lovell to see if anybody had, she had any applications or whatever. And I don't think they do at the time, but, hopefully somebody will step up. Hopefully maybe somebody will know somebody that, may be interested. I'm certainly going to reach out to people that I know that may have an interest or whatever. And it just really is, I mean, over the years and working with you four sitting right there, just very rewarding to me. And so I think people will get a kick out of it. I know I did. So just really wanted to, just say that is really like to see people step up and take that, take the helm. And so I just wanted to
Thank you.
let that be known. Thank you.
So that's a really great opportunity to note that we do have 2 openings for the Recreation Commission, and one of the items that we might put on the September agenda is what is it really to serve on this commission? I sometimes think that people don't quite understand what it is, what the commitment is. I told you a little bit about the leadership class and that as an inroad, but that's just one path to serving our community on the Recreation Commission. So if the commission is okay with adding that to our September agenda, I will just say that it is open. If you are interested today, I would say, stop by the Recreation Commission, find John or Mark or even myself to just begin the dialogue. What does it take? What are your interests? What are, the needs of the Recreation Commission? But we do have 2 seats that are open currently. Any other items from the Recreation Commission? So we're going to get ready for our next month's agenda.
How are we going to address the comments made today? Are we going to
problems?
put it on the dock for the next time, or
So I think we owe an update. I'm not quite sure of all the steps because John has a little bit more background than I do, but I do think we want to go and investigate you're talking about the problem?
I think it can be presented to us, but ultimately aligns with John.
Yeah, so the Recreation Commission is an advisory board, so we can have dialogues about certain situations, and you can advise me or Mark on the HYCC matters.
Yeah.
And then I, make a determination.
okay? I just didn't want to feel like
yeah.
we just listened and we were like, oh, cool.
No, but
next.
so that's what you guys do. When
advisory,
public
we
comments,
can't.
you can listen to the comments, and then, you might have comments, or you might want to swing by those courts at, in the morning or at night. And, again, it's tough to say because, right, I could go by 5 nights a week and I might not see anything, but then the next night there could be 4 or 5 or 8 people out there playing and you just don't see it. So it's tough. But again, you can just advise me on what your thoughts are, and then ultimately myself, Chris Canella, the new Assistant Community Service Director, or Madeline Noonan, kind of make the final decisions
Awesome.
on.
I just want to put it out there that I will again, I'll try to go over there and see what's going on. I just don't want to feel like you just fell on deaf ears and that we're.
Yeah, no,
we're like,
I've had, email conversations, phone conversations with Mr. O'Donnell. So,
Yeah.
it's not like he's coming here for the first time. It's definitely,
Yeah. Okay. We want to help too. So.
And I would say, as a long-standing commission member, we've seen this and we have played an active role. So physically going to the site, having dialogue, friendly dialogue, not only with the residents, but the participants there. And what we've done is we created demand. That's what we've done. So pickleball, we created the courts, and what followed was demand. So now we're just trying to balance that so it's a win-win for everyone. So commissioners, you are called should you choose to take the challenge. Just let's stop by from now to next meeting, dialogue with John and Mark, and see what we can do from a community standpoint to help remedy the situation. The decision ultimately stands with the Recreation Commission. We're just facilitators.
Yeah, and I just want to mention too, so everyone, here or in the community understands. So the Recreation Division and the HYCC now are 2 separate operations. So Mark and I are equals. So I'm in charge of everything recreation outside of the facility. And then Mark runs everything in the facility, the gym, the game room, the ice, and all the staff. So he manages all his staff that operates there. I manage the rest of the staff, and we do everything outside. Just so, if it's a recreation matter per se, Mark really doesn't get involved because now we have George and myself. If it's an HYCC rink gym matter, that goes over to Mark, and myself or anyone else really doesn't get involved per se because now it's Mark's territory to cover. So I just want to make sure kind of people understand that the new roles now.
And I think that's important also. I think that because the roles have changed and evolved, and it was great to hear the growth, I think next meeting I'd like to also have that laid out so it's a little clearer
Sure.
for our viewing audience and the commission how that has changed. It's a good thing.
Yeah, we can provide that. And like I said, we'll have George come up and speak, Jackie, and then maybe even by that next meeting, we'd have another new program coordinator to invite to talk to kind of get to meet the whole team, the new team. So I definitely can do that for you guys.
Okay. So I think we are already queuing up a pretty healthy agenda for our September meeting. We are definitely going to be respectful of everyone's time. My apologies for being a little delayed coming in from class off-site, but do I have a motion, if there's not anything else, to close this meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. The meeting now is officially over. Thank you.